Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order this August meeting of the Cultural Arts Commission. Let's begin with roll call.
Mr. Brandt,
Here.
Mr. Doyle,
Mr. Brandt. Here.
Mr. Fogarty,
Here.
Ms. Grewash is excused. I'm so sorry when I butcher your name. I forgot how to say it.
Guayardo, present.
Ms. Latimer,
Present.
Ms. Patterson,
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Present.
Then we have Ms. Pirano from OCVB.
Present.
Ms. Williams from Parks and Rec Board is excused, and Councilmember Taylor.
Present.
All right, thank you, everyone. At this time, I would like everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. I hope everyone's had some time to look over the agenda. At this time, I would be seeking an approval of that agenda. Need a first and a second, please.
Latimer first. Approval. Guayardo second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the approval of the minutes. Similarly, I hope everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from last meeting. Unless there are any addendums to those minutes, which now would be the time to kind of speak up about those, I would seek a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Doyle.
Fogarty, seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And now we move on to our citizen comments. Any citizen comments for the evening? None? Seeing none, we'll move on to our committee and department reports, beginning with our financial report.
It'd be me. In your packet, you'll have a copy of the 2025 budget. It has the current year to date, well, as of July 16th, where we're projected to be for 2025, and a quick draft of 2026 budget that's going to be proposed. We've already got a few amendments to that budget. Jennifer received actual bids for the decor, and it came in a little bit lower, so that $85,000 will go to $80,000. And the technology system software that we talked about getting this year is probably not going to happen. The price increase, so we're going to take out the 15 out of 2025 and convert that to 30 for next year, so that we can get that software next year that'll help us with our marketing campaigns. So, if you look at the bottom of the line, the bottom of the budget, our fund balance seems to be decreasing. We've had a lot of projects. The O'Fallon Theater Works, a lot of money is getting put into that this year. That'll probably take another year before everything is purchased, installed, working. Yay. So I don't know if you have any questions. One thing that is highlighted is the potential art purchase for next year. I don't have that in there at this time, mainly because of the O'Fallon Theater Works, and we will also be changing our art rotation next year. So there's going to be a lot of art anyway, but with the balance the way it's going and a couple other projects on the horizon, I went ahead and just reduced that for now.
So the idea is that the potential art budget that we normally have would get wrapped into something like the theater improvements, which totally makes sense. And if that helps with the theater improvements, I'm absolutely in favor.
Typically, what we've done is used like a 5% of our revenues goes towards the purchase of art. The theater improvements have well exceeded that 5% for this year. So I think we're covered for a few years, but like I said, we have several art projects coming up with the change of the sculptures, the rotating sculpture work. So there's going to be that. We still have the Fall into the Arts and other projects that we'll be renewing stuff on. So
Great. Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, every improvement to the theater is an art purchase for the city, so Thank you very much. Any questions for Kelly? All right. Move on to tourism and festivals report.
Good evening. Just a quick recap of the O'Fallon Heritage and Freedom Fest. That has been the one thing that has probably consumed most of our time over the month of July, all compressed into 4 days. We had an amazing turnout. It was quite warm, with all things considered, but we did offer a lot of hands-on activities. The carnival was going strong as usual. We do like to incorporate an art piece each year into the event, and we had glass blowing. This year, they made several different pieces, which we were able to keep, and we will be putting that on display. We did have a dinosaur encounter. That was a hands-on learning activity for kiddos, so they could go through an air-conditioned trailer, learn some things about that, actually go out and do like a fossil dig, and just kind of fun photo opportunities. The police dunk tank was on Entertainment Alley as well, and new this year we had parade balloons. So if you didn't have an opportunity to see that, think of a mini version of the Macy's Day Parade style helium balloons. So we had red, white, and blue stars individually, and blue balloon handlers who walked it down the parade route. It was extremely well received, so I was excited to see that people were enjoying that. As far as revenues go, this year we were down slightly from the previous year. We were at $114,510.67. The previous year we were at $124,000. I will say overall, with speaking with the carnival, they stated that all of their shows that they have done this year have been down. So it sounds like that's kind of a trend in general. I also feel that due to the way it fell as far as the days of the week, that also will affect the attendance of things, and weather is always a driver for anything you do outside. So, like I said, it was quite warm, but once that sun went down, it did get a lot better. But we have just wrapped up our Jammin' Summer Concert Series. We were able to get in all 10 concerts. Last night was the last one with Trixie Delight, and we were estimating about 2,200 people at that concert last night. So if people could find a place to park, they parked. So she's always a great entertainer, and people have do follow her around the area. And then coming up on August 10th, we have Summer Send-Off, and that's kind of more of a, getting geared up, one last hoorah before kiddos go back to school. There was a back-to-school drive for school supplies that was taken care of in conjunction with the school district. So there'll be food, music DJs, inflatables, and a variety of different programs that is put on through the Renaud Center that people can learn about and also sign up for, such as a variety of swimming lessons or programs such as soccer, things of that nature. So we hope if there's anyone that has kiddos, I'd like to come on out and enjoy that. That is going to be at O'Day, and that is from 1 until 4. So if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer those at this time.
Great job on Heritage and Freedom Fest. Seemed
Thank
really
you.
really incredible this year as always.
Thank you.
Just wanting to make sure that I'm reading the little spreadsheet right. So this money is money that the city took in, right? Like revenue the city made from the event.
Correct. As far as what I read, which was the 114.
Right. So just curious, when it says that there are two lines for vendor and vendor application fee, what is the vendor, does the city take a percentage off the top of vendor sales, or what does that mean?
For people to be considered, they are required to fill out an application, and there is a fee associated with that. So it's nothing off the top. It's, if you want to apply, it's a $50 application fee to apply to be a food vendor, merchandise vendor, an information booth type thing.
And so how about maybe I'm missing the point, but how about the line above that? So there's a vendor application fee, and then there's a line that just says vendor, and they're two different lines.
Right, so that vendor, what that is based on the type of vendor they are. So a food vendor is going to be paying more than a merchandise vendor. A non-for-profit vendor that sells food will be selling less or be charged less. So those are the vendor fees for them to be on site. And those fees are based on 10 by 10 increments. So if somebody requires more than 10 by 10 space, then they need to buy additional space. So for example, food trucks can run 22 to 28 feet long. They need to then purchase 30 feet.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
Final question, maybe we'd only have an estimate of this, but do we track theoretically how many people come in through the event throughout the weekend, or a guesstimate?
So that is something that we are looking into right now with the event software that Kelly was just speaking about, where you do have that ability to geofence in that area to be able to kind of read how many people are in there off of heat generation, and then also by phones, as far as tracking that way the number of people who are coming and going. So that is something that we're really looking at to get a more accurate number versus a guesstimate. I will say that our parking numbers were down this year compared to the previous years, so that lines up with the fact of less people in attendance as well.
That makes sense. Thank you. And also shout out to the team. I thought the main entertainment picks were really, really good and impressive.
Thank you.
I do have a question about what he's saying with the attendance. So with the geofencing and what you're saying with pinning the phones, I myself live like right down the road from this event, and growing up, it was kind of always a come and go atmosphere. And I'm sure that's the same for other people involved in surrounding neighborhoods. What do you guys think about maybe offering like a wristband or like some sort of where you can kind of like the firecracker run, they pick it up the day before or the night before, packets, that type of thing? Or like you could even mail them to like the surrounding areas, like all of North O'Fallon residents. You could maybe mail like 2-packet, like a 2 wristband type of thing to maybe get numbers of the exact amount of people that are in attendance. But that is just like a good point, that this revenue is based on, I guess, money spent, and I was there the whole weekend and I did not spend a dime. So that is just a good point of you could potentially track a bigger amount of numbers.
Right. So as far as what the purpose of the event is, I like to describe it as a community give back. So yes, we do need to make up some of these revenues for sure, based on the expenses, but it is also part of what it is we do for the city of O'Fallon to the residents and those visitors who are coming to come into the area. With this software, it actually tracks the number of people who are the percentage of repeat visitors. It also tells you the average length of stay that people are here. It graphs the hour in which most people start coming in and decline. It can tell you where people are going before and after the event, down to the quick trip that is most frequented. I know information about Celebration of Lights as well. I've learned that we actually get a draw from Columbia, Missouri. So let's kick marketing to Columbia, Missouri. So that's some of those things that we can do. My fear with telling people to have wristbands is they won't bring them. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. No, I welcome any and all ideas. You never know what it can morph into.
I did not know about the new technology, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's something that we have been looking at, and it's been a little bit of a challenge in the respect of the cost of it. It's, it's you need to pay for the information, and it gets a little challenging. Yeah.
And if anybody asks about privacy concerns with tracking cell phones, and I assume it's anonymous, but it just kind of keeps track of it doesn't, yeah.
No, it's all general. It's not
figured.
that Kevin Smith was there from.
Yes. Just in case someone asks
He
me
bought
about it.
3 corn dogs, even though he only told his wife
I saw
he
him
bought
there. He
one.
was indeed there. He was. The date is correct.
No secret, I would handle 3 corn dogs, no problem. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that leads us to, I believe, we are at our cultural arts report.
You guys are going to get tired of hearing my voice, so I apologize in advance. I know there's a couple notes in your packet. I actually typed myself some more notes, which I can share with you guys after the fact if you would like them. So as far as the cultural arts report itself goes, first and foremost, let me start by saying hi. I know there's some of you I have not met yet. I know most of you. My name is Jenna. I'm the festival coordinator. I actually oversee the cultural arts specialist, which is my first update, which we don't have one yet. We did interviews yesterday. We're in the process of hiring. We're hoping to get one in here ASAP, but for now, you get me. I don't know if that's lucky for you or not, but here I am.
Oh, it's great.
Another piece with OTW, Curious Savage, is underway. This is a show that is directed by Carol and Chris Lanham. If you've been to one of their shows before, their set upstairs is massive. It's like it's literally like a whole building on the stage right now. It's super cool. I was up there the other day and I was like, whoa. Chris is like, yeah, I'm not done. I'm like, okay. It is underway. It's really neat. If you guys haven't seen it or haven't had the chance to go up there, I encourage everyone to buy tickets and to check out the show. I think it's going to be really neat. It will run September 5th through 7th and 12th through 14th. And I would like to mention our Dine and Discover that will be on Saturday, September 6th. We are trying something out with this one. We're going to theme it hairstyles and hats, kind of encouraging attendees to get all dolled up in their best 1950s inspired attire to kind of go along with the show. The catering menu was sent to me a couple weeks ago, and it's almost reminiscent. Think like upscale TV dinner, which was like a thing in the 50s. It's like meatloaf, mashed potatoes, like corn, like stuff like that. It's where I was like, I mean, that sounds great, but it's kind of, wrapping the whole 50s kind of theme together. Chris and Carol have been very involved with that. They're trying to involve the cast, like each table is going to be like, highlighting a cast member, like all sorts of stuff. They're great. The way their brains work, mine could never, but that's why we don't have the same job. So that's good. Another piece that I wanted to mention, I want to remind you guys that the current gallery exhibitions at City Hall, Crackle, and the Renaud will be up through the end of August. I think everyone's scheduled to take them down that week of Labor Day. So if you have not seen them yet, I would highly encourage you get over there. Crackle is not open to the public, but I can get you guys in there if you want to see it. Really great galleries. I've actually shown the Crackle Gallery 3 times this week. So I think people are really taking notice. I know Dave's local, and that one's been a huge hit. A lot of people have said great things about the art, both at City Hall and Renaud Center as well. And the next round of galleries will be installed within those first 2 weeks of September. So we always look forward to that. That's it as far as the cultural arts report. Obviously, I have a lot of other things to talk about, but do you guys have any questions about anything that I had just mentioned?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. How are you guys getting this information out to like the general public? So with the displays and the theater programs, how, like, where's the advertisement at with that?
Yeah, we do a lot on social media and with the, oh God, what's it called now, Craig? O'Fallon, what's the, Life? O'Fallon Life magazine. It used to be the Rec Guide. Now it's a magazine, sorry. That gets distributed to all the households within the city. So there are write-ups about the shows, the galleries, everything like that in that magazine as well. And then we work very closely with Kristen Funderburk, who is our community engagement manager, who handles all of our social media. She does a lot of postings. O'Fallon Theater Works actually has its own, at least Facebook page. I think it has its own Instagram page as well, that posts certain things. So if you guys don't follow that, go ahead and follow that. Share like crazy.
I know I've seen a billboard on Highway K that's shown a few.
Yep, that's another piece
Curious
too.
Savage things.
Yeah, we have the, the traditional advertising. We have posters that we put up in the parks as well. We have the billboards, but I would say, really heavy hitting social media and the magazine as well.
I was just going to recommend that I am constantly on like Facebook events, and if whoever social media is doing it, I've lived here my whole life. I'm on social media every day, and I don't see any of this. And
really?
I want to. I would come to these art shows. I would come to the theater, and my friends don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it. So I kind of want to talk to whoever I can about maybe suggestions on getting that word out a little bit further.
Yeah, I think Kristen creates specific events for the show, for the plays. The galleries are a little tougher to create events for because they're like 3 months long and they're kind of open. We traditionally do have either an opening or closing reception. We had an opening for this round in May. I don't know if we're going to do opening or closing or a weird in-between time for the next round. But we do try to have a reception of some variety for each new round of galleries. But yeah, I'll mention that to her and see. I don't know, on the back end, I know there's a lot of things that she does with like demographics and things like that. Yeah,
and I'm new here, so I'm just.
Yeah. I don't know. But again, we don't know what we don't know. So we always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you were going to say something, weren't you?
I was actually going to ask if we were going to have an opening reception in September or a closing reception for the galleries, but you kind of answered that question.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards something closer to opening just because closing will be holidays, and that's going to get hard. But I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Okay. I know
Hopefully.
without having a specialist to help lead the way on that, it's an additional thing to worry about. So.
Yeah. Everyone's been great in the in the interim to work with too. The artists have all been super helpful. I've been like, I can get you in the building and I don't know how to hang your art, and they're like, perfect. I'm like, thanks. We're making do.
Jenna, you do such a fantastic job. You've been pulling double duty for a lot of things.
Make it till you make it, right?
For many months. I just want to, say congratulations, to the whole Parks and Recreation team, the kids who are in it, the directorial team. That nearly 1,300 tickets were sold to 6.
Hey, you're jumping the gun.
That's
I'm not
wild.
there yet.
Oh, you're
Noah.
not there yet? Okay. Well, can I ask you a question before we jump the gun about the Curious Savage?
Yeah.
So I think that this Dine and Discover stuff sounds like such a smart idea, such a smart idea for theming, and it sounds like maybe you have the catering menu. Are we going to publish the menu beforehand? Because for the gentlemen in the community who really take their eating very seriously, which that's really my real constituency, is the people who take their eating very seriously. I think that publishing the menu beforehand could help sell some tickets.
Yeah, Kristen has kind of been spearheading Dine and Discover specifically with the Lanhams. She stepped in to help with that, which has been awesome. I want to say it has been listed on whether it's on the event page itself or things like that, but I'll make note of that to her to make sure we get that out there, because I think that really emphasizes the theme of it as well.
Are we going to talk about the holiday production later? Is that
Yes.
Oh, great.
Patience.
You said questions,
The young blood, though.
Hey, we love the eagerness.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
If we have no other questions, we'd move on to 6 in old business.
All right. Noah stole my thunder, but no, I'm joking. So yes, I obviously last time in June I was not here. I was across the hall talking to all of the vendors, and we were just getting ready to start the shows of 6. We had 2 weekends of shows, 1,287 tickets sold, and it was 97.5% of tickets that were available were sold, which is crazy. I did not do the math for Scrooge, if I'm being honest with you, but I know like they were neck and neck. It was great. We heard nothing but positive feedback about 6. Taylor did a great job. No shock. We had a lot of people say, oh, I saw it at the Fox when it was here, and I came to this one, and I would come to this one again before I'd go back to the Fox. And I was like, whoa. So that's high praise. That's high praise. I never saw it at the Fox. I actually only saw about 5 minutes of it upstairs. I was running around doing other things, but those 5 minutes were great. So
I mean, here's the deal with our production that we put on. Having a chorus.
yeah, the ensemble.
The
We heard
ensemble.
a lot about that too.
It amplified the show in ways that the original production just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and obviously you have your powerful 6 leads, which
sure.
are wonderful, but that chorus,
Yes.
that ensemble behind them just added such an
Yeah.
impact that
And that
really
was-
is my favorite iteration of the show that I've seen.
That was a lot of what we had heard as well, not only from, the audience, but parents of actors as well. They heard, they heard it was 6 and they were, kind of upset because there's only 6 people. So when Taylor added the ensemble, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I can be a part of this. I didn't think I was going to have a shot. So opening the door to, I think it was 11, 13, something like that.
Yeah, maybe 15 overall, yeah.
Yeah, ensemble members or something along those lines was that many additional roles, that many kiddos involved. It was a great addition, no doubt.
I'm just uneducated. What is an opening and a closing with the theater?
So your opening night's obviously like your first night. Curtain rises. It's a yay. Lots of people, I think, when people go to theater, like a lot of people go to opening night because it is kind of like a celebratory thing, and yeah, I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. They're way more.
Work afterwards.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They all bow and they like. Well, then you break down.
I think they do that every show just because the audience isn't always the same, but yeah, I know opening night's always a fan favorite.
Just want to clear.
Yeah.
Shout out to the whole, I think, Parks Rec team did a great job advertising 6. And what you were to speak to the social media, I know that, there's like one video on the O'Fallon Theater Works Facebook that got over 1 million views with the 6 kids, like doing sort of a little viral trend. So I think the whole Parks Rec team should take a big victory lap over that great show.
We'll make sure to include Taylor in that victory lap too. And Emily and Adam and all the rest of them. Any other questions about 6 specifically? All right, moving on down the line. This is sort of anticlimactic, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm really sorry. I was hoping that I would have all of the actual production materials in hand by today, but I don't. So what I can tell you is that the licensing rights for our holiday show have been purchased. We have a title. I cannot tell you that title yet.
Ooh.
I know, you can be mad at me. Next month, hopefully, we will have it. We're just in the process of submitting payment and things right now, so we can't officially announce or advertise anything until payment has gone through and we have materials in hand. So we're in the process, which is more than I can say for a month ago. So we're moving in the right direction. So stay tuned for that. And then as far as the 2026 update goes, I know Kelly and Jennifer had both kind of alluded to it. 2026 is going to look a lot different for O'Fallon Theater Works. There's going to be a lot of construction. There's going to be a lot of renovations upstairs. We are currently planning tentatively for 3 shows next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed on that. That might have to adjust scheduling and or location based on the construction upstairs. We're still in the very early stages of that. We received initial renderings from the architect a couple days ago. We sort of looked through them, made some comments, sending them back type of situation. So very early stages of things. We don't have official schematics or anything like that yet, but don't expect to see 4 shows from OTW next year, but it's going to be worth it, without a doubt. Any questions on that?
Do we have those shows picked?
No.
Still discussing those?
Yes. We will have a holiday show. Does that help?
I've been told, but I don't know what it is yet.
No, that's this year's, not next year's. No, we do have the list that were the top 3 that were voted, and then we're kind of waiting to see what that scheduling is going to look more like, and then going to the directors to kind of say who's available during this time, kind of things like that, you know, who wants these titles, et cetera, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, I know that the directors had their favorites. I didn't know if those lined up with the top 3 or not.
Honestly, I don't know. I know there were some that they were very excited about, and I think some they were very surprised about as well. So that's kind of why, you know, we're going to talk to them to say, like, hey, obviously everything's dependent on securing rights as well. That's a huge piece of it. But going to the directors to say, hey, we're going to shoot for this. If we're able to get these rights, who wants it? You know, I know they have scheduling conflicts, kind of things like that as well. So
Right. Yeah, I would always like to pay a little bit of deference to the directors.
Sure.
In kind of some of the choosing and everything like that. So
yeah.
like to have them part of the conversation.
Yep. And they were part of the voting too, just like you guys
good.
were, and OCVB and everybody. Yeah. They were, it was like an equal split of directors. I don't remember exactly how Brittany did it, but it was the directors, you know, you guys, it wasn't just basically like individually. It was like a third of their votes, a third. She had this whole math system. She explained it to me and I was like, the list. And she's like, cool. So we got there, but.
Yeah, I liked the way we did the idea of like supporting new shows. It gives ideas for even the ones that didn't get picked. It gives ideas for what we have interest in for possible future projects and things like that.
Well, and it eliminates, you know, if a director is set on, I want this show, and then we can't secure rights, then them scrambling to be like, now what do I do? Right. You know, we have a list of, here's the 3 we're going to do, or we're going to try to do, you know, and go from there. That way we have a fail-safe already rather than panicking.
And for our newer members, just to explain that, like we this year we actually submitted ideas for shows, like more than what we usually do.
Yeah.
To kind of give a laundry list of a number of shows we were all interested in, and then we kind of voted on that. Where in the past we've relied heavily on like just the director's suggestions, and
I believe in the past the directors would each bring like 3 suggestions kind of to the table, and then you guys would give input type of situation. But this year it was more collaborative across the directors, CAC, OCVB. There were some city staff that were involved as well. Just kind of collectively, you know, across.
I did get that email, and I think I was a part of that last month.
I think you were like brand new when we were doing that.
I watched on the TV last month. Mm-hmm. That, and I just didn't vote because I didn't know what I was doing.
fair enough.
Like, I'm just not giving my opinion on it.
I'm sure you'll get an opportunity.
Learning curve.
in the future.
We'll do it again next year, I promise.
But I do remember that. Come to the plays.
Yes, absolutely.
Followed you guys on Facebook, so.
Good. Keep it up.
Jenna, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Maybe this will be more appropriate to do not this next year, since it will be like a transition year with the theater being built and such. But I do think it would be a smart idea to, at the beginning of the year, sell a season ticket, you know, where people can get a few dollars off and get a ticket to all 3 or 4 shows.
Yeah, that's definitely been a topic of discussion. And to your point exactly, it's kind of coming in conjunction with the theater upgrades. In order to do a season ticket, in our minds, we feel like we need to have assigned seating, because if you're buying a ticket, you want to know you're getting, you know, right now it's first come, first serve as far as seating goes. And those people that have season tickets, if it was me purchasing a season ticket, I want to know where my seat is at.
I mean, I agree. The only part I disagree about is because how much is a ticket like? I should know this about a lot of tickets. $14.
I think advanced purchases are.
Yeah, I should.
16. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
So
two.
that's if you know, even if buying all 3, like let's say if it's a full 4-season thing, we don't have the assigned seating stuff ready. Even if you could buy it and it would be like $5 off overall, or even, let's be crazy, $10 off overall, I still think there'd be some people who would buy that, even if it's still just, you just get an assigned seat,
Sure.
but, you're buying at the beginning of the year, you're going to see all 4 shows. It's kind of
Yeah.
a vote of confidence in advance for the whole season. But, I understand if we want to wait till the theater's more built out.
Yeah. And I think this seating would be one of the things that would be implemented next year. So I think it would be, if we choose to go that route, I think it'll be able to be implemented in conjunction.
Are they going to be cozier seats?
They're going to be, how did Jennifer describe it the other day? She said something along the lines of, you're not going to be squished, you're going to be super comfy or something along. They're like very padded, they're wider than normal.
I say a lot of things, so
That's also true.
in fleeting moments.
You can't be held to the things you say.
So we don't have to bring our own pads anymore.
No.
Correct.
They will have cushions.
We are looking a little bit more of padded
Yeah.
style chairs, so no worries about going numb. You'll be fine.
Very nice.
But they'll still be modular. They're not going to literally be like bolted to
Correct.
the ground.
Yeah. No, we won't be doing permanent seating because, as you know, the directors sometimes have different alignments, if they want audience to be more involved, or some shows, the stage would be larger, but even if they needed to extend or something like that. So, yeah, no, I think we're going to avoid permanent seating.
This is a silly question, but is
It's
there
probably
a
not.
way for like me or anyone else that wants to get like a tour of the old, like what you guys are going to remodel, and then like, let's say a year from now, like do that again and like tour the new construction and kind of have like a before and after? I've never been there, so I'm sorry.
It's just upstairs. It's right above you.
Yeah.
Are they doing any work tonight? Because sometimes we're fortunate enough they're actually running parts of the show whenever we have our meetings and we go up and watch afterwards.
I'm not sure if they are tonight or not. I meant to look at the rehearsal schedule and I forgot. We can definitely pop up there afterwards, though, to look at it. Yeah, we can for sure. I don't know if they're up there. And fair warning, it is obviously everything's being built right now. So, but yeah, we can go up there. The set looks really neat. Really neat.
I used to be the people making the sets in high school, so I didn't ever
They would love to speak with you.
Chris Lanham would love your help, I'm sure.
I never, like act, but I painted and I made the canvases and I did the thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
It sparks me.
Cool. That's so cool. All right. Any other questions about, I'm sorry that I can't give you the full info on the holiday show yet. Any other questions about that, though? I can tell you auditions for that will be the second weekend of September.
Have they decided, Jen, I don't know if you know this or not, but have they decided for the holiday show, is that all ages? Is that just adults?
Nope, it'll be all.
So
If
children
memory
included?
serves, I want to say, I think it's like 19 casts, give or take. I might be undershooting that.
With some children,
Yes.
theoretically? Great.
Keep pumping for information. We might figure it out.
No, you.
What's the what company is the right holders through? Is this MTI, Concord?
I don't remember. All right. I know I had mentioned a little bit about galleries earlier. We, up until about a month ago, we actually didn't have anybody slated to take over for City Hall in September, but luckily we do now. I meant to bring you guys some pictures, and I forgot, so I'm sorry, but I can send them to you. Her name is Hannah Smith. She will be coming in September. She has an art degree from Webster, and she her medium of choice is acrylic. She creates like floral paintings. A lot of her art is, it's gorgeous. It's all floral. She has one, I think she calls it prickly pear. It looks like cactuses. It's super, super nice. It's beautiful. I met in the gallery with her a couple weeks ago. She looked through the space. She's very excited about it. She's actually Dave Walker, who is at Krekel right now. It's his daughter. And that's actually been very interesting for me to see because Dave is a fabric artist. He takes pieces of fabric, like overlays them, stitches all together. And then, so art runs in the family, clearly, but so very different. Hannah is all, it's very floral. She's going to incorporate a couple pieces that are more, fallish, winterish kind of seasonal, but a lot of her stuff is very, bright and floral. And I think everyone can use a little bit of that in like the winter times. So I'm not upset about that. So I think it's gonna be really neat. She's really excited about it. She's already agreed to hang her art for me, so that's a win. I know. She was like, so are you going to? I'm like, open the door for you. She's like, perfect. I was like, good. So
That's a big part of this person you're trying to hire's job, is especially some of these ones at City Hall, it's like 1,000 pieces. Some of them are an incredible amount of pieces.
Yeah, it definitely varies. But you've been out here. It's huge. So if a person has a lot of work that they want to exhibit, more power to them. Obviously, you all probably saw the Olympic one. That was crazy. There was so much out there. It was awesome. It filled the space. And when it came down, I think everyone was like, oh my God, I forgot what these walls looked like. You're like, whoa. So, but it's really neat. It's a great space. It's huge, and Brittany, I will give Brittany her props. She did a great job. She went and measured every gallery. It has like the schematics for them all and sending them to the artists. They've all been like, this is so helpful. This is great. I'm like, good. So it helps them kind of plan layout and things as well. So
do we give the artists like kind of a guideline of how many things to bring, or we just give them the space and say,
yeah,
do as you please?
Depends on sizing. Some of them have a lot larger work. Some of them have a lot smaller. Some of them have kind of, all over the place where they want to piece them all together, kind of gallery wall style. Some of them like to have one, more focal piece and things like that. So we kind of give them free rein. They just have measurements of, here's how big it is. Anything else? You're almost done, guys. We only have 2 more things you have to listen to me talk about. All right. FITA update and Zap. So I know you guys voted on entries. Last meeting, I was not here. So we were able to invite 34 artists to participate in FITA, which I believe is about the same number we had last year, like right around it, give or take 1 or 2. They have all been accepted or invited, excuse me. And as of, I think there were 19 officially accepted on Zap, but then we have 15 that have actually like paid. But we've been in contact with all of them. I don't know, obviously, a final number as of yet, but I think we are going to be leaning more towards that 34 artist amount, which is good. I think we had. I know, Christine, you were there last year. Were any of you at? Did any of you come out to FITA last year? Oh, yeah, you were guys. Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah,
where I
you were in the
recognized
mud,
you.
weren't you? It was so muddy.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. So say a little prayer for no rain. But even with mud, I think we had a great turnout. I know it got a little dicey, but it was a lot of good people. And I think it filled the space well. It didn't feel super overwhelming to the fact that you were like, I'm never going to see all these people, but it also wasn't so barren that you're kind of like, okay, well, now what? So I think that 34 is a good sweet spot. So I was glad to see that number come through.
I personally would like to say something about this. I am a little bummed because I won't be able to attend this year as a vendor. I was just wondering.
I thought you guys were.
I know we applied and then we didn't hear back in like enough time for me to schedule things. So with it being like 4 weeks out, it was just too close of notice. Personally, just for me, I know that's like what most people are scheduling. But we did apply and then we just didn't hear anything back. And so as an artist and as a vendor, I don't know if there's any sort of like communication.
Did you guys submit through Zap?
I think so. I want to say yes.
They did?
I want to say yes. But we just haven't heard anything for like, I want to say a good month.
Well, that was an oversight on our part.
And it's okay. And like, just for like a good month, we just didn't know. And
sure,
I like need about a month just to create. And so I think just speaking from a vendor standpoint, a lot of vendors might be in the same boat where they could have if they would have maybe had like 2 months notice to actually create more of a push of art. So I don't want to be like,
no.
Guys, but I unfortunately I can't this upcoming year just because of the time frame. And I was just a little sad about that.
Sure. So we are, I think we're still at least 6 weeks out from the event. It's the end of September. Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about the what is it? It's in my calendar. It's 4 weeks away. It's similar though. It's at the City Hall.
or no, it's at Civic Park. Oh, that's the rail district, probably. That's not the city.
That's not us.
Nope. That's not us. That's what I was like. We're like a month and a half away. I'm like, I'm so confused.
Just missed what I.
Okay, well, let me look at, so,
Okay, I have dyslexia, so for.
no, it's okay. No, I was panicking because I'm like, you guys, I know you applied.
I did apply and I'll be there because I have.
Okay. You made me so nervous.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was gonna say, I think that they submitted theirs separately from Zap.
Okay.
They couldn't figure out how to submit through Zap, but they submitted it like a PowerPoint or something.
Submitted it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just know that I just had a dyslexia moment and I'm so sorry.
No, I just had a panic moment, so it's okay. We're on the same page. No, and that's what I was gonna say. Is you guys are what that's why I was nervous. I'm like, you're accepted. I thought you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we got accepted into that, but then there is another that we haven't heard from, which is, I guess, the rail district.
Yeah, that's the chamber.
Okay.
We don't really have any assist, but it's not a city-run event.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. That's totally fine. And I'll make mental note tomorrow to double check to make sure we put fees on the accounts and things like that.
Ask your mom.
That's what I'm kind of wondering too.
Like the rail district festival and the Fall into the Arts, it's just a month away. It's like,
No, understandable. That's why I'm like, there's no way. No, it's okay.
I think I'm not speaking.
It's okay. No, I won't ever do that. I promise.
Well, speaking of that date, could you give us a reminder on the date for Fall
Yes.
into the
So
Arts?
it's, oh man, I'm going to get it wrong. Sunday, September 21st. And it is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if any of you, LRO, sorry, not you, want to be judges, let me know. Sorry, you can't judge when you're a vendor there.
I'm happy to be a judge.
I understand.
Yeah. You want, okay, perfect. We'll make, I don't know why I just looked at you. If you can write that down for me so I don't forget. Thank you. I need to look back. I think we normally do 3.
It's fun judging. I've done it before.
I know you've done it, yeah. Okay.
I'm sad because this year will be the first year I'll miss it for a long. I'll be in Ohio for a marching band competition.
Okay, but those are fun.
They are fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be marching. I'll be driving panel trucks.
In your heart, you will be, right? So, yeah, Sunday, September 21st, we'll make sure to get with you about voting instructions and things like that. But I want to know, specifically from those of you, I think, that have done this in the past, so I'm probably looking at you for more than anything. What was the process like for you guys voting on Zap versus like in person here? How did we feel about it?
I liked Zap a lot. Yeah, I think so. I think it really,
Quick, easy, efficient.
yeah, as long as you get a reminder to do it after
got
you
you.
forget to do it, and then
We got you.
get an email.
Busy.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Like I said, we've never used it before, so it was kind of a test run for the software. So we just wanted to kind of get feedback from you guys on how we thought it went on your guys' end. Obviously, we see a different side than you do as well. So, cool. Anything?
Application process for artists to apply to be like, for them to be on the Zap like platform like that we voted on.
Mm-hmm.
How do they?
So, complete honesty, I don't know exactly what it looks like from like the artist side of things, but from my understanding, creation of an account, and then there's like a list of events that you can select that Zap has. So it's a pretty common software, I guess, for the art fair space, if you will. I don't know if you can filter like by location or anything along those lines, but on our end, when we receive the application, we receive like the name of the artist, their company name. They submit some images. They submit like the medium, like whether it's glass or paint, things along those lines. Any other like notes they want us to know about, they can upload multiple images.
Did that? So like I know what you're talking about, but what like can I send that to like other artists of mine, and can they like apply?
I think so. Yeah. It's to my understanding, Zap is a
Like this year. Because
sure.
But like, for me, like I just got that link from like my mom or like
Mhm.
the city. But is there a way for that to like almost be pushed to like a broader, like I don't know how like.
No, I know what you're saying.
is
Yeah.
33 the the max of people, like the max of vendors or artists that are allowed, or is it like available for 50 or even 70?
I wouldn't. 70's a lot. I wouldn't say 33 is like the max. I would say conservatively 40-ish, I would kind of say. With just, I mean, you saw it last year with the way things are laid out. I think we could put some more people along the sidewalk if need be. There are a couple other places we could put them, but like I had kind of mentioned earlier, it is a one-day event. It's 5 hours long, and so when people get there, if they're like, there's no way I'm going to see all of this, like I think there's a line of, too many, not enough type of situation. We want to make sure that people are seeing everyone that they want to see and can get through them all in the time span of the event. So I think quality over quantity a little bit as well with that. So, but I do think Zap is just like a public website that you can go on, a list of events type of situation. I don't know if you can, like I said, I don't know if you can filter by location or anything like that. So it can definitely be shared elsewhere.
I'm going to interject here for just a quick second. So when you go on to the city website for various events that we do, Fall Into the Arts does pull up on that, and it does have a call for artists link. So it will take you directly to Zap, directly to the Fall Into the Arts application process. So some on Zap. So as soon as you go on to the city website and you start looking at the Fall Into the Arts information through the city, we have a link that's provided to anybody who would want to apply, and it will take you directly through Zap. In the same breath, if somebody is familiar with Zap and that's how they build their season of selling, they can scroll through and be able to find any event anywhere that may be in their routing as well. So there's a couple different approaches.
Okay.
Yep.
Like if you already have a vendor application in Zap, you can kind of get notified for the upcoming events, is what you're saying?
I would assume.
Yeah, that I can't answer, but what I can say is, for our event, to get to the actual application, you would go through the city website. To answer that, I think we would have to go and kind of click around a little bit to see what you can and can't do.
Okay.
Yes.
No worries.
It's still a very new software for us to be utilizing. We haven't learned all the tips and tricks just yet.
I guess I just didn't know if like you guys had like an overwhelming amount of like artists to kind of cipher through, and if it was like you're saying quality over quantity, or if it was kind of like a say yes to who we can get type of situation, and like no judge to either.
No.
I can kind of weigh in on that. I mean, there are definitely people who have submitted that we've turned down. When we feel like it's less of an artistic display and more of some pretty simplistic items that maybe they're using Cricut or something like that. So we have tended to, I mean, we're not draconian in our cutting of people, but we have definitely
I would
leaned.
prefer that. Like as
Yeah.
like I would prefer it to be artists.
And we will definitely welcome like your voice next year whenever we're picking the new artists. I absolutely welcome that expertise when it comes to it.
I have my whole Instagram as artists, so it's like
Sure.
it would be really cool if like I could send this link to people and people from the city and Alton, Illinois, and like people that I have all in my community can kind of
Absolutely.
And I
always making art. More variety.
Yeah,
I
and
think
if-
general consensus, that's the goal. We glutton for punishment. We want to
Well, it starts.
need to decline. Like, I know that sounds bad. We want to obviously display as many as we can, but glutton for punishment, like I said, if we have 15, we can fit 40, then it becomes a process. Maybe then there's a first round, a second round, types of things like that. We're not there yet, but I
feel
think
like
there's
we
continuous growth with this event.
We had the ability to have 40 if we wanted.
I think so too, yeah.
But we definitely made some cuts.
Yeah.
And
sure.
we've always leaned towards that.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with that right now with the Foundry. They're doing an event with tattoo artists, and
people are mad because they got cut, and it's like, well, you know, so I just was
That's
wondering,
life.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I'd rather have people be a little, you have to work for your spot,
Sure.
than it be like kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Nope, understandable.
Appreciate it.
I think we're all on the same page.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to click my microphone. I have a loud mouth, so.
Yeah, I was like, I can hear you just fine, so you're okay. I do too. Every time I hear myself in this, I'm like, eh. Okay, any other questions on that specifically? No.
Which brings us to new business,
New business.
which the only item under new business is discussing the potential of meeting more often than we do, which is something that I raised at the last meeting, and I think that I feel we should meet more often, but I also think we probably need to wait until we have our specialist on board to have a better discussion about that. So my idea was to table this discussion tonight unless someone feels like there's more to put into it.
I do want to mention just a couple. So with what we are kind of proposing here, it isn't meeting more often, it's restructuring the dates. Because of how we are now, so currently we have March, April, June, August, September, October, and then we don't meet for 6 months. So we were kind of discussing not increasing quantity, but just rearranging, essentially. So basically doing an every other month type of situation versus here's a few, here's one, here's a bunch, see you in 6 months. I know in the past it was like that because we didn't have a holiday show, so it allowed us to wrap up, the fall OTW show and then come in for the next one prior to spring, talk about it a little bit, very heavy in the summer, kind of same with, sculpture rotations type of things. We could vote on them it was probably October for the next round, and then they were installed. The landscape of the cultural arts calendar has changed. Now we do have more things in those winter months to where I think it made more sense for us to kind of just rearrange versus adding or subtracting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And at least at a starting point, I do like the rearranging idea. I don't know. I miss the days of every month, honestly, and I don't know how the rest of the board members feel about that, or the city. I mean, you guys obviously have your own thoughts on it as well because you need to be in the meetings as well, and I'm sure you have a lot of meetings that you attend. I mean, not only our meeting, but you have your parks meeting as well. So it's just the discussion. I mean, me personally as a board member, I miss every month, but to what you were talking about, rearranging it to where every other month would be preferable to what we have now.
Sure. Yeah. And I think we were shooting for like even number months. So whatever that means, February, April. I'm like trying to picture a calendar. I'm like, what month am I in now?
Well, and whatever works best with, because obviously you want to land just prior to before like Fall Into the Arts, and you'd like to land just before the holiday show.
That's where it gets a little tricky because with us being the first week of the month, you're going to run into potentially a New Year's holiday and then not being able to have one in January, 4th of July type of situation, so we kind of were leaning more towards the even number of months like that. I know we wouldn't have one in September, which is immediately prior to
I think
Fall Into the
August
Arts.
is a good month to have the Fall Into
Sure.
the Arts conversation. Because once you're in September, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, the balls are rolling at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, at this point, again, I kind of leave it up to you guys. It was just a kind of a discussion, food for thought type of situation at this point. If you guys want to continue to have this conversation, I believe next month would be when we would officially vote to say, yes, change the schedule. And then the following month, it would be voting to implement new bylaws. So it's like a 3-step process kind of
Okay.
thing.
So we would vote next month in September, and then we would immediately begin our new schedule in October.
Yeah, right. That's what they said. It would
That'd
take
be the way
effect.
it would work?
Oh, no, wait, you're right.
So we would discuss today, kind of figure out how everyone feels. At the next meeting, we will actually vote on it. So if someone's suggesting every month or if we're doing every other month, we would actually vote on that at the next meeting. we will rewrite the bylaws after it's voted on. Then we will bring the bylaws to the October meeting and we'll vote on changing the bylaws in October. So then the meeting schedule would start in the 2026 year. So our first, or it would be, we'd have a meeting in December if we adopt the every other month or monthly or however it goes. It would be implemented after the October meeting when we vote on the bylaws.
And I will caveat that by saying after you guys approve bylaws, council has to approve bylaws.
That's correct. Okay. So,
I'm in the boat of every month is like preferable because I forget things and I have a busy schedule, and I'm sure everyone else does in life. I also think that with the even numbers of months that can, like, I could already say right now, like, December, probably half of us won't show up just because of family arrangements with Christmas and New Year.
But you're in the beginning of the month.
Okay, true.
Yeah, that's the first Wednesday of every month. So,
But yeah, just like, I would prefer it once a month or, even sooner than that because just timing of everything. My first meeting was May, I was sick, and then July, and like, now we're August, and it's like, man, that was so long ago.
yeah.
So I know the freedom thing, like, 4th of July is crazy.
Yeah.
So that July makes sense and December makes sense. I feel like almost just skipping those 2 months, like 6 months point would make sense to me. And having, January through June, skip July, August through November, skip December, makes sense to me, but I don't know if that's even possible.
so let me put it to you all, because you're suggesting the every other month idea. And I know, so just to kind of keep it an open conversation, is that where the city kind of prefers to land, or how do you all feel about a once a month conversation?
I think
Or is that even an appropriate way to go about it? I mean, is it strictly a conversation among the board, or?
I think we have to also consider our schedules. I mean, with
Yes.
July, like with Heritage and Freedom Fest, all three
Yeah.
of us
all
are
four of
there.
us, Craig included.
Yeah, so like we are all there. We wouldn't be able to be there for a
Yeah.
meeting the first week of July because we are all out there. So
There's no way.
that's kind of the consideration that we are taking from the city side of things, is how our schedule with events work as well, because obviously we all have to be here, and then we have events happening the first week of the month on those odd number months every once in a while. So it's a consideration of what works for you and what you guys want to do, but also making sure that we're able to be here.
So if we expand the schedule, does every department need to be at every meeting? Or can some departments, like the tourism report, be
So-
like every other meeting for us?
There's definitely some overlap too amongst staff. So the three of us are actually what makes up festivals. The cultural arts is within festivals, so we can kind of double dip. But one of the big kind of, I'm almost going to say it almost hinges on Mariah and or I's ability to be there. Because Mariah's a recording secretary, and if she is unable to, then it comes to me. So if we're both unavailable, there has to be a recording secretary. So if it's not one of us, then it would be going to a different staff member or board recording secretary somewhere else within the city. So it kind of just becomes bigger than it needs to be almost, if that makes sense. So to Mariah's point, it does need to take into consideration, obviously, not only your guys' availability and thoughts and things like that, but we do have to have staff here as well. You guys are fully capable, but you can't run your own meeting.
Right.
I don't know what the other commissioners who have been here longer than one meeting think, but going from 6 to 12 seems drastic, just in the amount of like, is there that much work to do? And so maybe if we're reevaluating this, maybe we could go from like 6 to 8 for the year, try a year of that, see how it goes. But
Yeah, I do worry about a lot of repetitiveness from 6 to 12 as well. I will say that. I think specifically in cultural arts, the galleries are up for 3 months. Our plays are in chunks of about 3 months. The sculpture series are on 18 to 22-ish month rotations. FITA's a one-time event a year. I just kind of worry that if we're in here every single month, I'm going to be telling you the exact same thing for
Can I-
2 months straight. And
Can I
then,
interject for a minute?
yes, Kelly, I can't see you behind the pole, but go for it.
I would actually go through your calendar of events and then backdate on when you need this council to vote. The OCVB meets about every other month, but then in July, August, and September, we meet 3 in a row because we're doing the budget. But we don't meet in November and December at all. So I would kind of go by your events, map out your events, and then back up. Maybe you need to have 2 in a row, but then like July, you don't.
Sure.
Maybe December and January, you don't, but then you start in and do February, March, you're off April, May, June, and
Yeah.
you're off July.
Or even, as Rose, you were saying, not in November, so maybe it's October, November, and then we don't have December, January type of situation.
I was just saying like skip the 6-month month, basically, so.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then just pick it back up whenever, but I also like that idea where you're just kind of looking and meeting when you need to meet, you know?
Sure.
I've kind of been mentally going over it in my head, and almost every event that I think of almost lands on a situation where the even month preceding it is kind of the month when we would be doing our voting.
Yeah, when you do like the sculptures, you might do 2 months in a row where all of them are presented, and then the second time you vote for them or something like that, so.
So could we set up a situation where we are attending, we have set meetings every other month, and then on the even months like suggested, and then have the ability to, in a meeting, decide like, well, we need a meeting next month. Can we set up an ad hoc meeting like that? Or does it need to be set permanently into the calendar?
You can
Craig
set
says
up a
yes.
special meeting. I don't recommend it. If it's going to
Okay.
be every year that you're going to need a meeting in that month, then I would just set that as one year
Yeah.
month. Like I said, it may not be all even months. You might have 2 in a row. You might have 3 months without or 2 months without. But if you go by your events and then back into when you need the votes and when the information's going to be there, you might have 2 months in a row, 1 month off, 2 on, and December and January you're off.
And maybe November is better because then it's plenty of time to talk about the holiday show. Whereas if a December meeting is that first week, then on a Wednesday, then Friday's opening day
Right.
for the show, or opening night. Sorry, I'm a sports person, so opening days always where my brain goes. But yeah, so that's kind of where we were at with it today. What I will, I guess, ask you guys to do, think about it, and then maybe send Mariah an email of like thoughts, just so that we have kind of some basis to go on when it comes to voting. But if this is definitely a conversation that, we want to continue to have, we'll make sure to carry it forward to next month as well. And that way we know if it's something, we want to vote on next month as well.
Changing it seems like a good idea, I think, but just in service of observing the adage of Chesterton's fence. Are you familiar, Jenna? Right? G.K. Chesterton says, if you're walking in the forest and you come across a fence, before you tear it down, you want to ask why the fence was built. Is there a reason why why this sort of somewhat funny system of like a spurt of meetings at a big break was instituted?
Yeah, I think, and I will just, and Jennifer and Craig can probably, she got it. She got you.
It seems like unique systems. I'm sure there's a reason.
Right. So part of it was positioned around when things were being voted on regarding the plays, regarding Fallen to the Arts. Each specialist has put a little bit of a different spin on how they operate the particular event. So based on that, it has kind of been determining when we were setting those deadlines. So when our previous specialist was here, she was recommending a different timeline on things with validations as to why we should look at changing those types of dates. When it comes to Fallen to the Arts is not going to change the month or the weekend in which it falls. That is its sweet spot for us in all of the scheduling that we do with all of the other events and the venues that we need to make sure that we are able to book, and using those parks and those facilities that they're not being used in other capacities. But then also in conjunction with the Shape of Community, because there is a timeline in which the sculptures come in. There is a timeline in which the sculptures need to go out, and the longevity in which they stay with us. So, the timing is very much driven by that. Couple more things I'm going to just throw out there for food for thought is we also need to take into consideration when communications is available, to be able to, host these live. And then,
When other meetings are.
yes, when other meetings are taking place, I can't speak for that. I don't have all of the calendars in my head. I'm happy I remember what time to be here sometimes. But also it takes into consideration, like Jenna was saying, the other times in which we're small but mighty little group, and we're a domino effect. So we do have to work very much together. When there's four of us, and what affects us can affect cultural arts, and cultural arts vice versa. So the last thing I was going to say is I do agree with Jenna. If you do get too many of these, it can be very repetitive, and I don't want people to be concerned about their time coming here and it being a very short meeting. And people are rushing here after work, and we're kind of telling you the same thing that we told you before. So there's also that courtesy of your time as well. So just based on the number of events or things that we're currently managing, cultural art related, my personal recommendation would be to keep it at 6. I also sit on the OCVB, which is the O'Fallon Convention and Visitors Bureau, along with Kelly, and we also do 6 a year as well. And if some of those meetings that do run back to back to back, I'm really short and sweet, and sometimes I have a lot to say because of the timing in which things fall. But it is very important, especially what Kelly was just saying related to the budget, that we did put in that one back to back. So that way there is a strong understanding of what is being presented to City Council, because once it's out there,
You can't take it back.
yeah, you can't take it back, or you can't add.
Can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Exactly. They can say no, but you can't just go and say, oh, by the way, I forgot this. So one meeting is to definitely go through that information. The next one is, this is where we're at. Or is everybody in agreement? Yes, no, okay. Then it goes off to council. It's a process.
All right.
So I think keeping that in mind, I would say if
Maybe a little homework assignment.
a little homework, yeah, if you guys want to kind of look at the calendar of cultural arts related things, I will say a normal calendar of cultural arts related things. Don't focus on OTW 2026. That one's going to be
Okay.
weird. Send Mariah your kind of general suggestions, I guess, or your thoughts on what a 6-month or 6 meetings a year kind of schedule would look like, what months those would look like.
Okay.
That way we have kind of a framework to go off of. And then we can talk about it next month.
All right. If that's everything with new business, in the all other items as they may arise, just a real quick tidbit. I have been the chairman of this commission for a number of years now, and in our bylaws, we are actually supposed to vote on a chairman. Not that I have any problem doing it, but it may be something to think about between, I don't know if tonight's the best night to vote, but we can kind of think about whether we want to hold a vote in the near future, or if we want to maybe hold a vote in May, which would be, or after May 1st, which would be the beginning of a new session of the commission. And like, actually, basically, this is kind of a call to attention that we should be doing this. As much as I enjoy being the chairman, we should be doing it. And I have no problem giving up the gavel if someone else is excited to do it.
It's usually a May, because that's when everybody's reappointed or. new
Right, I
members
think
come
April
in and all that.
30th is kind of the end of, it's after the voting and everything. All right, and that's it for me. Anyone else have anything to add?
I'm just going to add something to that. So that would be another discussion with the bylaws. The way our bylaws are written is very vague. Me and Jenna went and talked to the clerk's office about our bylaws and how they're written, and so that's something that would also be changed along with the meeting dates when we rewrite it, that it would be specific on when we're voting. So that was kind of the suggestion, would be the first meeting following May 1st of the year, we would vote on our chairperson. Right now, it doesn't really give a date. It just says you vote annually, but it doesn't say when. So just something to keep in mind as well, that would be something that we would also edit in the bylaws. But as Kevin said, I don't think we voted on this in a very long time. So we wanted to give you guys the opportunity that if you did want to vote on it, we can do that. If you guys want to wait until May, we can do that. Technically, it's supposed to be every year, but we are a couple months late on that now. So
Yeah.
something to think about for next meeting.
Yeah. Especially if anyone's really hungry to be the chairman. All right. Anything else? All right. I would seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Guayardo.
Second, Latimer.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you, everyone. Motion carries.